Do you have a 4-room apartment?
Yes, 4 rooms. This is one. The first bedroom. This is the youth room. The second bedroom. Large rooms. My husband made all these tables himself. Everything crafted with his own hands. He made this furniture himself, like something from an enchanted forest tale, all crafted by himself. This is me. He carved this. He crafted everything by hand.
Today, we're visiting a remarkable woman. This is a large 4-room apartment where once lived a big family. A mother, father, and 3 sons. She received this apartment as a regular employee at the brewery, working there like anyone else. During the Soviet era, the state provided such apartments to large families, to households like this one. This apartment was given to her and her husband as they both worked at this enterprise. Unfortunately, now she lives alone. Her husband, sadly, is no longer alive. And this wonderful woman allowed me to show her apartment today. So today we're in a 4-room Soviet-era apartment of brewery workers. Hello friends, I'm Julie, and you're watching Soviet Born, where we tell the whole truth about the Soviet Union that no one else will tell you. So stay with us, it's going to be very interesting. Have you been retired for long?
Yes, about 13 to 14 years, around 14. I stay active and continue working.
And you're still working?
Yes, I consider it real work, taking care of an elderly person.
You work as a caregiver? How old is the elderly person?
90.
90?
Yes, she can't see. She sees very poorly. And walks poorly. She's deaf too. Can't hear as well.
What's your educational background?
I only have a secondary education. I worked at the brewery for 25 years during Soviet times. When we moved here, furniture was given out in turns, of course. My husband crafted everything with his own hands, made cabinets, made the entryway, then the kitchen. This was acquired later. He hand-carved everything with careful detail. Yes, all crafted meticulously by hand.
Do you have a 4-room apartment?
Yes, 4 rooms. This is one. First bedroom. This is the youth room. Second bedroom. Large rooms.
Kitchen and separate toilet from Soviet times?
Yes, toilet and bathroom are separate. Here's the third room, bedroom. He made all these tables himself. Everything crafted by hand.
Was this his hobby, or did he earn money from it?
No, a hobby.
A hobby?
Everything he could, he crafted himself. And this is the second bedroom.
And this is your kitchen, right?
This is our large kitchen. He made this furniture himself, like something from an enchanted forest tale. All crafted by hand.
And did he make this too?
All himself. This is his depiction of me.
This is you? Stand next to it, please.
The glasses are broken, though.
Come, let's compare. Well, that's really impressive.
This is me. My husband crafted everything himself. Now it's modernized like this, but it was all wooden before. Here's the door.
Even the door and everything you made.
All his handiwork.
Excellent. Do you often remember the Soviet Union?
Of course, I often remember those times. People were somehow more connected then. There was more genuine interaction. These days, it's different. People tend to keep to themselves.
Do you think there was more care for people in the Soviet Union than now?
More. There was more attention to people's needs. For example, my sisters, when our father died, there were 6 of us left.
You had 6 children?
Mom. Mom was left with 6 girls. We had a big family. And mom was left alone at 36. Imagine, I was the oldest. I was 13 when father died. And they found work for me. I went to work to help mom. And there was a stronger sense of community back then. They found work. And I worked and helped. And we turned to neighbors. They helped. It's not like that anymore. Nothing like it was before.
I'd like to pause our tour to thank those people who have already subscribed to our Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting us. And I'm addressing my dear viewers. Please, if you have the opportunity, subscribe to us, support us. We really need this. We really want to film this content more often. We need it ourselves. It's so close to our hearts. And we'll be very happy to see you on Patreon. There, I'll try to share my thoughts, publications that I don't post on YouTube. I want to introduce you to another member of our family. I hope you'll like them. So I'm waiting for you on Patreon. What a wonderful apartment. Let's go to the bedroom now. The owner kindly allowed us to film her apartment. This is the first bedroom. Here are nightstands from an old Soviet furniture set. Clocks, lamps, and here's this old polished wardrobe. These wardrobes were found in practically every home. Up here, as you'd expect with any elderly person, there are various personal belongings stored. In my childhood, we even had such a wardrobe. And here's quite a spacious bedroom. A vanity mirror was absolutely essential. Here's this wonderful, interesting vanity. Let's continue on. Here we have the same Soviet-era bed. Wooden, quite old now, but still remarkably sturdy. Cast iron radiators. And here's this type of tea stand. My grandmother had exactly the same kind of tea stand. If you watch films about the Soviet Union, you'll always see these tea stands. And here's an absolutely wonderful chair from that era. Here we have a hidden sewing machine, a Podolsk sewing machine. I won't open it for you now. Later I'll show you an even more interesting sewing machine. Here's another wonderful nightstand. Photographs of our kind hostess and her husband. Here we have access to the loggia. The loggia is very spacious. Well, we can't go out there now. There's laundry drying. There's an antique chandelier from that period. It's ceramic, I think, and glass. Well, this chandelier is definitely 70 years old, that's for certain. Was it probably easier to raise children in the Soviet Union than now?
Yes, somewhat easier. For example, I used to leave early for work, and we had an 8-apartment building. It was like living in a village. When I'd leave, I'd knock on the wall to let the neighbors know. And they'd know I wasn't home. I had 3 boys. And if I left at 7 a.m. and came back at 6, the children were looked after the whole time. That's how we helped each other.
Did everyone help each other back then?
Yes, there was much more mutual support.
Given your age, do you remember the post-war period well? You must remember something.
I am not sure about the post-war time, but I know it was difficult.
It was hard, wasn't it? And people really supported each other then.
Yes, we lived harmoniously. Many people lived around me. There were many resettlers at that time. Russians, Ukrainians, Germans, so we lived in friendship.
Now we're moving into the next bedroom. Let's try to turn on the light here. Here the furniture is more modern. This is their son's bedroom. And I want to point out that when planning these apartments, they always included built-in wardrobes like this. Such wardrobes were standard. Here is their son's workspace. And here's this wonderful bookshelf with Alexandre Dumas' collected works. I see, yes, La Dame de Montsoreau, a very unusual collection. And here are the windows from that era. And there's access to the loggia. Did Soviet people not care about politics? The state provided everything for us, and we followed the path that the state showed us. Because I was born in the Soviet Union myself. And that's why I believe there was much more care for people then.
Yes, more. Even when my sisters were in school, we received a lot of help with clothing, food. So, I don't even know how to explain it.
You weren't abandoned?
Yes, exactly, now. At present, it's not like that anymore. Look, I don't have an education, but I could still find work. But now you can't get a job anywhere if you don't have proper qualifications. I went to work in production. First, I went to the dairy plant, worked there for 3 years. It was hard. They tried to put young people on the assembly line. Without education, without anything, but I still learned. As an operator's assistant. So I gradually learned on the assembly line. Then I went to the brewery. It was easier there. Also assembly line. And they taught us every operation. Right at the production site.
Right at the production site?
They showed you how. I worked well. I can't say I was discriminated against or anything. Now you can't just get a job like that. I don't know how it is now.
This is the owner's bedroom. As I mentioned, people read a lot in the Soviet Union. There are still some books left here. Metal shelves. These folding metal shelves were very popular in the Soviet Union. They even made entire wall units from them. They displayed dishes, decorations, and such shelves were in every home. Here's an absolutely wonderful sewing machine. Very similar to a Singer. A German machine. People sewed a lot then because there was a shortage of clothing. And now we'll see what kind of machine this is. No, it's a Podolsk machine, but very similar to a Singer. The Podolsk factory that produced these sewing machines made exact copies of these sewing machines. Although now Singer machines are quite common too. Here are some toys the owner has. And of course, houseplants. This is the view from the window. As the owner said, during Soviet times there was a big shortage of furniture, and her husband, in order to provide their 3 children with necessary furniture, started making it himself for household needs. And eventually it became his favorite hobby. Modern doors have been installed now. Look what I found. This is a crocheted doily. I'll place it like this. They did a lot of crocheting then. I think many of you know how to crochet too. White ones, and here's a red cover, that's what it's called. If you've crocheted something like this, write in the comments. Apparently the owner made this at some point. What are your brightest memories of the Soviet Union? What do you remember most vividly now?
Well, I remember working at the brewery. The work collective was really wonderful. The girls were close-knit and reliable. Now most of them are gone. Very few remain. You know, we were never bored. We never had any discord. We always celebrated holidays together. We celebrated everything. Any holiday, any day off. We worked in shifts and always with songs. Generally worked with good spirits. But now, besides that work, it's like there's nothing else. In my younger sister's memories, it's not the same. They didn't have what we had.
Because I even remember from the movies they show, people singing together, going potato harvesting together. So that's how it really was? Not just in movies, it was really like that? Everyone together and happy.
Yes, it was fun. We even went to parades. Always cheerful. Always with songs.
I remember in childhood, specifically about the parades on November 7th, May 1st. These holiday parades, everything was specially prepared. Cars, children. And it was all very beautiful, very interesting.
Now there's no such festivity. Even gathering with neighbors, there's no such community anymore. But back then it was different, joyful. You'd go out, get together, even just have tea with neighbors. At work you'd say, girls, let's gather as a team. And we'd even go to the forest to relax. On Saturday, Sunday, we'd get together and go. Now there's nothing like that.
I remember you used to go out a lot.
Yes, we were constantly going places. Summer was especially amazing. We had Zarnitsa for military training. We were Komsomol members. Until age 27, we never had time to rest. We had endless energy.
And I remember the Komsomol, patrols, volunteer squads, all that existed. People's Volunteer Squad?
Yes, that's how it was. The squads would patrol, guard the streets.
I remember how they even monitored truants in the evening to keep young people from misbehaving. You had that too, right? People from every workplace would go out and patrol.
Still, it was more fun back then. I always remember girls. Seriously, it was more fun back then. Everyone wanted to participate.
The bathroom is large. The owner's husband did the renovation himself, laid this tile himself. He made this precious portrait of his beloved wife. It's both in the kitchen, which I'll show you later, and in the bathroom. It looks very much like our landlady when she was young. I showed you her photo. This is all wood, all handmade. With such love, he carved all of this. It's really cool. Very beautiful. Hello. In Soviet times, of course, there wasn't such a panel with fish like here. and the bathtub is cast iron. But this plastic cabinet, it's actually from that time. It was also hung in such bathrooms. These plastic cabinets were deliberately made narrow for convenience, so they could be hung anywhere. And of course, laundry soap was a must. Always a bar of laundry soap. Write if you use laundry soap. Our housewives still can't do without it. Remember I showed you in the bazaar video a wooden mop, this cleaning tool, the so-called wooden mop. It's still in every home. Modern people don't use it anymore, but our people will never give it up. Because with a bucket and mop, that's how they clean the floor. See? It's more familiar this way. There was a dance floor, right? Can you tell us about the dances of that time? You used to go? You were young then?
Yes, we went. Girls would gather. There were 6, 7, 8 of us going to the dance floor. Mainly students came here to study at the institute, and we went to dance floors, met people, formed groups, collectives, made friends. It was fun anyway. But now, even my sister, she's younger, 10 years younger than me. She always remembers me, says, "At least you have something to remember." But they don't anymore.
Next, we enter a rather large bathroom. Everything's neat, everything's clean. The housewife maintains it. And here's where, for some reason, Soviet Union houses were built specifically so that all plumbing, all pipes should always be accessible. And even here, by building code, they can't be covered. So they hang such a curtain, and all the plumbing is in this spot. There's a large storage closet for clothes. This was another bathroom. The apartment is big, and therefore it had 2 bathrooms, because I see the sewage pipe running there. But the owners apparently decided they needed a closet more. And I think that's the right decision. See the sewage pipes, meaning there should have been another bathroom here. Potatoes are stored here. It's relatively cool here. Boxes, onions, preserves, owner's tools, homemade tincture, can't do without it, jam, pickles, preserves. Such an interesting room. I was always amazed that we had shortages, basically. Mayonnaise, sausage, everything had queues. Everything in queues. But the New Year's table in the Soviet Union was always full. However people managed it, but the Soviet New Year's table always had everything. Champagne, tangerines, and Olivier salad.
Yes.
But do you celebrate New Year now the same way as then? Prepare the same things?
Almost the same. Almost everything's the same.
What will you prepare this year? For the New Year's table?
Well, as usual, I'm looking on the internet now. Currently looking for something new. Mainly salads as usual. I make them a bit differently now. Herring under shuba, as always, in small portions. The family is very small now, so we prepare just a little for New Year's.
Wonderful kitchen. The hostess prepared a lovely spread for us. A pie. Such a kitchen. The chandelier, the door. The owner did all of this himself. Here hangs this wonderful thing, a fly swatter. Tell me, do you have one or not? In summer, when flies get in, these swatters are essential in any apartment that doesn't have screens. This table, this bench, all these chairs were made by the owner himself. And here's such a kitchen. Gas stove. The hostess covers it with foil. There's even an enamel bucket preserved from those times, which is quite amazing. The owner made this entire kitchen himself with his own hands. All these cabinets carved these boards. They're very, very old. When the hostess was still young, he made this portrait of her, his wife. You saw it in the bathroom, and now here too. The hostess wanted to change the kitchen set once, but then in memory of her husband, she decided to keep it. Potatoes are stored here for convenience. There are shelves made there. And of course, an amazing thing in every home, the broom. I'm still surprised why our pensioners just can't give up this cleaning method. There are vacuum cleaners, of course, other cleaning tools, modern brooms. But somehow, this traditional broom, you can't do without it. Pot holders, tailoring scissors. The hostess sews, that's why she has such scissors. A very interesting small pot. Also these old clay pots. Living rooms were always similar. This kind of fold-out table was set up for guests. And soft furniture. The chandelier. There wasn't much choice of lighting fixtures then, so they were the same in everyone's homes. And here's another wonderful cabinet. A TV stand, as you can see, and this stand was also made, crafted by our hostess's husband. Everything is done very neatly. Very interesting. It's wood, you see. Everything is made with great love. All of this is handmade. In the Soviet Union, you always had to somehow do repairs yourself, make your own furniture. I want to show from this side just how interesting it looks. Here we have access to the loggia. Flowers. Every home must have flowers. And here's the exit to the loggia. He also paneled the balcony with his own hands. You can see how it's all done. Always preserves jam, curtains. It's very cold now, so all the pickles are stored on the balcony. Cast iron radiators. Such a living room.
Happy upcoming New Year. I wish you health, most importantly, and peace on earth.
The most important things are health and peace.
May people always meet in friendship and joy.
Thank you very much. Please wave. Thank you. Here it is, this house. There's also a playground here. Little houses. Today we visited a wonderful woman. Please write in the comments whether you liked today's video or not. I'll be very interested. I read all comments and always pass your greetings to all our featured guests and try to translate all the comments you write. I might not respond to them immediately, but I absolutely read them all and look forward to your feedback. This was Julie, Soviet-born channel.
И до новых встреч!